Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this video lecture of wireless cellular and LTE module number 3, lecture number 3, okay, on channel structure of LTE. Okay, in that particular channel structure of LTE, we will see how the hierarchical channel structure of LTE is used. Okay, so in the previous video lecture, we have seen how the channel structure of LTE is being used. Okay, and what are the various protocols are used with respect to the channel structure of LTE. Okay, so in today's video lecture, we will see how the channel structure of LTE will help in finding the solution so that it applies and gives you the very best quality of service. Okay, so basically the channel structure of LTE here is used to support the quality of services. Okay, there are various quality of services are there where which the LTE adopts. Okay, basically there are three different channel types we have in LTE. Okay, so these three channels are the logical channel, transport channel, and physical channel. Okay, and each channel is associated with some service point. Okay, we call it as SAP, which is nothing but your service access point. Okay, between the layers. Okay, so how many layers we do have in LTE is nothing but we have basically PDCP layer. Okay, we have MAC or RLC, and we have RRC and physical layer. So basically 4 layers of LTE structure or a protocol stack we do say. Okay, so here if you want to have a kind of communication between the channels or communication between the layers, so how to do that? Okay, so we need to follow some kind of hierarchy. Okay, we need to follow some kind of structure. Okay, so basically we have three types of channels we do have in LTE. They are nothing but logical, transport, and physical channel. Okay, we will see how these channels will help us in following the protocol and provide the services to higher layers. Okay, and other than that, the logical channels here are nothing but your SAP, which is nothing but service access provider or service access points between the layers. Okay, and these three layers are being categorized for various different protocol stack. Now looking into this particular figure here, okay, this is nothing but it is the radio interface protocol architecture and the service access points between the layers where the transport channel will lie, where the logical channels will come. Okay, now look at this particular block diagram here. The first layer is PDCP. We know the operation of PDCP. It is meant for header compression and ciphering and deciphering sequence number or sequencing the numbers. Okay, then we have RLC. We have seen in module number 5 in detail. It is meant for the segmentation, concatenation, automatic repeat request, and in sequence delivery of our packets. Then we have the MAC or RLC, which is meant for hybrid automatic repeat request and multiplexing and demultiplexing. Okay, and other than that, we have some kind of formats of MAC, which is meant for scheduling, transport format selection, HARQ, and retransmission. Okay, so here is my transport channel. Okay, which is connected between the MAC and physical layer. The logical channels are connected between the RLC and the MAC layer. Okay, so we will see how this goes one by one, or how these three layers will perform their operation. Okay, but the actual implementation what is done is at the physical layer. Okay, now looking into this particular the block diagram or the protocol structure of this LTE here. Okay, here the channels are defined in the form of hierarchy. You can see the arrow marks are always from top to bottom, not from bottom to top. Okay, so this is nothing but one hierarchy which the LTE is following. Okay, however, there are some cases of LTE where the transport channels and the logical channels are more simplified, and very few numbers are used when they are compared with high speed of packet access or data. Okay, then apart from the this structure, this is also used to improve the efficiency of radio interface, and it also supports some dynamic resource allocation. Okay, and between the user entities based on the type of specific traffic, you can say, and based on the quality of service requirement. Okay, now let us see how each channel is responsible for this particular operation. Okay, so let us consider the first channel here is the logical channel. Okay, In logical channel, what to transmit, okay, what logical channel is responsible for. Basically, these logical channels are used by the MAC. You can see here in the figure, the logical channels are used by the MAC sublayer. Okay, so they are used by the MAC sublayer and they are used to provide the services to the RLC, radio link control or radio resource link control. Okay, and each logical channel is defined based on the type of information it carries. Okay, because all the information is coming from the RLC layer. Okay, based on the type of information, like whether it is meant for segmentation, whether it is concatenation, whether it is a request, or whether it is a sequence delivery. These are the operations of RLC. Okay, based on that particular operations of RLC, these logical channels will respond or they can be defined. Okay, so therefore in LTE, now the logical channels are categorized. Okay, depending on the type of service they provide, they are logical control channels and logical traffic channels. Okay, this falls under the category of what to transmit. Okay, then let us see one by one how these logical control channels are used. Okay, the first topic here is logical control channels. This is the service provided by the logical channel under what to transmit. Okay, so the following are the types here are: first, broadcast control channel, we call it as BCCH. Okay, and this is the one of the type where a downlink common channel is used to broadcast the system control information. Everything, whatever the control operation the RLC is sending to the MAC layer, it is responsible for particular control information, so that the mobile terminates in the cell. Okay, including some downloading system, the bandwidth. Okay, how much bandwidth should be allocated, what should be the type of antenna configuration, whether it is a single antenna or whether it is a multiple antenna. Okay, and some kind of reference signal power. Okay, now if there is a huge amount of information is being carried under this broadcast channel control, okay, then it has to be mapped to two different transport channels. Okay, here you can see there are 4 different transport channels. Okay, if one of the transport channel is not able to handle the information fed by the MAC, then it will take more than one transport channel so that it will handle its depending on the capacity. Okay, so this is how the broadcast channel will do its operation. Other than that, we have multicast control channel. It is called as MCCH. Okay, and this particular multicast control channel is used as a multi-point downloading channel or downlink channel, and it is meant for transmitting the control information to the user entity cells. Okay, all the information which is coming from the upper layer, they are transmitted to the mobile services or mobile equipment. Okay, and how this is done? This is done by the multi-point downloading channel or downlink channels. Okay, we have the another type of control. It is called as the paging control channel, PCCH, and this is responsible for transferring the paging information to the registered user equipment in the cell. For example, in case your mobile is terminated communication session, okay, then the paging processes can be used such that the whatever the mobile which was there in communication, it will again it will come back into the communication process or communication progress, then that can be easily communicated. That is called as the paging process. Okay, once the mobile is terminated its session, then it may go for the again re-establishment of your particular communication session. Okay, then this is for paging of control. We have the another type of control is common control channel, CCH. This is used as a bidirectional channel for transmitting the control information between the networks. Okay, we have multiple networks out of the architecture, right? If they want to communicate with the other with the user entity, different networks want to communicate with different mobile station. Okay, during that particular operation, this common control channel is used. Okay, where we don't require any kind of RRC connection. Even if it is not available, still it can go for type of connection. And most commonly, this CCH is used during the random access procedures. Then dedicated control channel, DCCH. This is meant for a point-to-point, also bidirectional channel that transmit the dedicated control information between the user entity and the network. Okay, for example, one user entity want to communicate with one network. Okay, but that particular user entity cannot communicate with other network. So during that conditions, okay, this dedicated control channel is used. Okay, dedicated in the sense once it is meant for that particular channel, it has to communicate to that particular mobile only. It cannot communicate with other mobile. One-to-one communication, point-to-point communication will fall under the category of dedicated control channel. Okay, this was all about the logical control channel operations. These are the various operations done by logical control channels which falls under what to transmit. Okay, similarly we have another type of here, it is called as logical traffic channels which falls under what to transmit. They are, here you can see there are only two types. One is the dedicated traffic channel, we call it as DTCH. Again, it is a point-to-point bidirectional channel used between the user entity and the mobile, almost the same as above. Okay, it can exist only both in uplink and downloading both. But what was the case in other dedicated control channel? Only in downlink, not in uplink. But here it is both in downlink as well as uplink, because the traffic can flow from transmitter to receiver and receiver to transmitter. It can be in both the directional. Okay, that is why the reason it is available in both, that is uplink and downlink. Now the next type of traffic channel is, it's called as MTCS, that is multicast traffic channel. Okay, so in multicast traffic channel it is unidirectional. It is point to multi-point, from transmitter to multiple users. Okay, based on the data channels that transmit the traffic data from network to user entity. Okay, it is not in the reverse direction. It is all the data will not come from mobile to network. It is from network to the mobile station. It is called as multi-point multicasting traffic channels. Okay, and they are all unidirectional. They follow only one path. Okay, and again they are associated with multicast or broadcast services. You can take an example of your dish TV. Okay, where all the signals are being broadcasted and they are in only one directional. We cannot do any changes in that particular channel. Okay, why? Because we are the users, we are the user entity. Okay, and the transmitter is nothing but your network. So based on that network, a connection has been established so that it will be only in one direction. Okay, now the next here in the other, what we have seen here is logical channel. Now let us see about the transport channel. Okay, so what are the various operations of the transport channels? Here are, again, the transport channel is nothing but it is the connection between your MAC and physical layer. Just look it into the diagram here. It is between your MAC and the physical layer. Okay, so based on this particular type of connection, that is physical and MAC layer, it provides use some of the services. Okay, so the various services which they are discussed in this particular transport channel, and again it is how to transmit. The earlier was what to transmit. Okay, now it is how to transmit. Whatever the data which is coming from the logical channel to the MAC, it will process under the MAC layer and it will transport to the physical layer. Okay, it will give to the physical layer. Now the question is, whatever the data I have, how I should transmit to the physical channel or physical layer. Okay, so just to transmit your physical channel. Okay, now there are some type of transport channels. They are nothing but your downlink transport channel and uplink transport channel, because it can be in both the direction, right? Whatever the data is coming to the physical layer, I should send it to the MAC. They are called as the uplink, and whatever the data which is, they are downlink. Okay, whatever which is coming from the MAC to the physical layer, they are like uplink. So both is possible. So we will see one by one how this can be done in under the category of transport channel. Okay, so the first is downlink transport channel. In downlink transport channel, we have the following categories. One is downlink share channel, we call as DLSCH, and this channel, that is transport channel under downlink, is used for transmitting the downlink data, which includes both the traffic and control data. Okay, because it is coming from the upper layer, so therefore it makes use of both control as well as traffic data. Okay, and again it is associated with your logical control and logical traffic channel, because it is from the higher hierarchy I am following, because higher hierarchy consists of logical channel and logical traffic channels. We have what we have discussed in the above section. Okay, so it is coming from the upper layer and being transmitted towards the physical layer. Okay, and this downlink channel is supports your hybrid type of automatic request. Okay, dynamic link adaptation, dynamic and semi-persistent resource allocation. Okay, and this is also responsible for your user entity discontinuous reception and multicast and broadcast transmission. Other than that, this is also helpful in high-speed downloading shared channel to multiplex the traffic and control information among the different entities. Okay, and this whole is used because you need to maximize the throughput. In the sense, the output should be maximum. Whatever you do, the output should be a better way, so that the quality of service can be increased in a better way. Now, the next type of transport channel is broadcast channel. We call it as BCH. This BCH is responsible for, okay, for broadcasting the system information over the entire coverage. For example, the information which is coming from the MAC layer or the other layers of your PDCP, it has to be broadcasted. Okay, it has to be given out from the system, and it should cover the entire coverage area of the cell. For example, our Bijapur city has one broadcast station. It has to cover the whole Bijapur area. Okay, that is nothing but broadcasting. And what it will do, it will send all the broadcasting system information, so that it should cover all the cell area. Okay, and also it has some fixed transport format defined by the specification. For example, take an example of the radio station. Okay, it has a fixed frequency, and that frequency is transmitted across the whole Bijapur city. Okay, and that particular can be received by all the stations. This is called as broadcast channel. Similarly, we have multicast. Again, it is associated with the logical channels used for multicast and broadcast services. It supports multicast and broadcast channel frequency network. Okay, and they are used responsible for transmitting the same information on the radio resources, but from different multiple synchronized base station, right? For example, if one cell has different some 10 stations, and that all the 10 stations should be synchronized with each other, so that they all will work under one radio resource barrier. Okay, that is why it is fall under multicast. And the last type of the downlink transport channel is paging channel. Okay, and it is associated with the logical channel. Again, you can see all the type of channels under the downlink transport channels are making use of logical channels, because they are following the hierarchy. Okay, and again, it is mapped to dynamically allocated physical resources, and is required to broadcast over the entire cell coverage area. Okay, it is transmitted on the physical downlink shared channel, so that it, if you find any kind of discontinuity in the reception, then this paging channel will give the information, so that the connection can be established again. Okay, similar to the downlink transport channel, we have uplink transport channel. One is uplink shared channel. Okay, and this is meant for again using the logical channel, and it is making use of HARQ, dynamic link adaptation, link dynamic and semi persistence resource allocation. And the another is random access channel. Okay, and this channel is not mapped to any logical channel. You can see whenever it is going towards in the uplink direction, no channel is mapped to the logical channels. Okay, all are mapped to the downlink channels only. Okay, and this random access channel, it is responsible for transmitting the relatively small amount of data. Okay, for initial access. Okay, just like your initial start bits. See, it is the same as the same case. Okay, and in case of RRC, how to change the states. Okay, this is how the random access channel we have. Okay, similar to the transport channels, what we have seen, that is the that is downlink and uplink transport channels. Okay, those all things are, or all the channels are organized in terms of some transport blocks and some transmission time. Okay, for each transport block, they are called as transmission time interval. Okay, that is called as TTE. Okay, so based on the discussion of that particular downlink and uplink transport channels, okay, now there are some control information need to be defined. Okay, based on the physical layers, or you can say, okay, apart, because they will not fall under the transport channels, but there are some different types of control information that fall under the MAC sublayer. Okay, they are downlink control information format, control format indicator. Okay, hybrid ARQ indicator. Okay, so how they is nothing but they fall under this particular information, the information carried by these particular formats. Okay, so first is downlink control information. Okay, it will carry the information related to uplink and downlink scheduling assignments. Okay, then it does the modulation and coding scheme and transmit control power. Okay, and some kind of downlink physical downlink control channels. Okay, now it supports this DCI will support some different 10 formats. Okay, here you can see there are 10 formats. You can see from format 0, 1, 1A, 1B, okay, 1C, 1D, 2, 2A, 3, and 3A, and all formats are carrying some of the other information here shown in the table. Okay, and control format indicator, it is used to indicate how many symbols this DCI span will span in that particular sub format. Okay, if this CFI is equal to 1, 2 or 3 and it is sent over the physical control format indicator, okay, it can take any value, either 1, 2 or it can be 3 also. Here you can see it is 1, 2 or it can be 3 based on the format. Based on the given number it will work. And the last here is HARQ indicator. It is just a kind of an acknowledgement, hybrid acknowledgement, automatic repeat request, and it will give you some kind of the acknowledgement here. Okay, and based on that particular acknowledgement, the uplink transmission can be taken place and it can be sent over the physical hybrid ARQ indicator. Okay, so if your hybrid indicator is giving you 1, then for a positive acknowledgement it will give 1, and for the negative acknowledgement this can be made as 0. So if you receive 1, it means it's a positive acknowledgement, all the informations are being received. If HI is equal to 0, it means that there is some kind of problem is been there in the channel, so that it requests for receiver retransmission of your data. Okay, and the last is nothing but your uplink control information. It is called UCI, and this is meant for indication. Okay, indication on the downlink transmission, scheduling the request of uplink, and hybrid acknowledgement. Okay, meant for the downloading transmission. It is just a kind of, these 3 operations are carried out under the uplink control information. Okay, so what we have seen here is we have seen the logical channel operation. Okay, then we have seen the transport channel. In transport, downlink and uplink. In logical, we have seen logical control, and we have seen the logical traffic. Okay, now similarly, the last but not the least, when you see, look it into this particular diagram here. Okay, one was logical and another was transport. In transport we have 2 types, in logical also we have 2 types. Now coming to the last part, it is nothing but it's a physical. Okay, and this physical channel is responsible for the actual data transmission. Okay, again in physical we have uplink and we have downlink mechanism. Okay, so if you go through this uplink and downlink mechanism, again here this physical channel is responsible for the transmission of data either in time domain, or it can be in frequency domain, or simply time frequency grid that carries some information to the higher layers. Okay, again this physical channel which falls under the actual transmission is done at the physical layer, right? So here they are categorized under uplink and downlink channels. So in the downlink channels, that is nothing, downloading of information, this it carries the information about the transport format, resource allocation related to the above layers. Okay, so based on the information which they have received at the user mobile entity, the transport format, resource allocations are been decided, and they are related to the above layer. Okay, so information which is meant for the layer will go to that particular layer only based on the format which has been received at the downlink channel. Okay, then physical downlink shared channel. Okay, this channel carries user data and higher layer signaling. Okay, then physical broadcast channel. In physical broadcast channel, it corresponds to BCH transport channel and carries the system information. Okay, and based on the carrying the system information here, okay, it is again responsible for your broadcasting channel, transport channel, and also carries the system information. Next is physical multicast. Okay, this multicast channel will carry, it is just like a carrier where the multicast and broadcast information is meant for this mobile base station management services. And the next is physical hybrid automatic repeat request indicator channel, what we have seen in the above, which is meant for the retransmission, acknowledgement, okay, resource allocation. Again, this also carries the information. All the physical layer is nothing but it carries some or the other information. Either it carries the actual information, control information, data information, okay, or it can also carry some or the acknowledgement. Okay, here you can see either it can be in terms of positive acknowledgement or it can be in the negative acknowledgement with respect to the uplink data transmission. Okay, and again it has been mapped to the your hybrid ARQ transport channel. And the last in the downlink is physical control format indicator. This is used to just to inform the mobile about the number of OFDM symbols which are received, and it also responsible for mapped from this CFI transport channel. Okay, similar to the downlink physical channel, we have the uplink physical channel. Okay, so in uplink physical channel we have uplink control and uplink shared channel. Control channel are nothing but they carry some kind of uplink control information like a channel quality indicator, some positive and negative acknowledgement for HARQ. Okay, with response to the downlink transmission and uploading scheduling request. Okay, Similar to control channels, we have uplink shared channels. Again, it carries some user data, okay, which are meant for the higher layer signaling, okay, and those data will be sent to the higher layer, like it can be a MAC, it can be RLG, or it can be PDCP. Then we have physical random access channel, and this channel carries the random access preamble sent by the user entity, because all the mobile phones, they send some kind of preamble access points, okay, based on that physical data, okay, either it can be in the form of uplink or it can be in form of downloading, okay. All will be sent either to the upper layers or from upper layer to the physical layer, okay. And LTE has some kind of specification related to that uplink and downlink of physical layers. They are reference signal, okay. It is nothing but it can be used in both uplink and downlink for channel estimation, okay, that enables the coherent demodulation, because once the data is out from the physical channel, it has to go under the following, like demodulation, modulation, channel coding, channel decoding, okay. Many things are done once they are at the physical layer, okay. So these are some of the specifications which are being given by the LTE, that is reference signal, okay. And also synchronization signal. This synchronization signal is nothing but it splits your primary and secondary synchronization signal, and only defines the downlink to enable the acquisition of symbol. Acquisition is nothing but acquiring the symbol timing, and based on the timing and the precise frequency, the downlink signal can be obtained, or the downlink signal can be transmitted, so that the all the signals, they are get synchronized with each other. Let it be, it can be either a primary or it can be a secondary synchronization, okay. Last but not the least is nothing but the channel mapping, okay. For this particular channel mapping, we have the diagram here based on the channels. You can see here, the first is physical, we have a transport, and we have logical channel. From the above diagram, it has been defined, okay. Physical channels are nothing but here, right, physical data synchronous control channel, okay. We have broadcast channel, we have again here, you can see whatever the terms and terminologies what we have used in the uplink and downlink, they are shown in this particular diagram. This will give you the overall mapping between the layers, okay. Logical layer, we have all the categories. Physics transport layer, we have these many categories. For transport, we have these many categories. How they are interconnected between channel to channel, they have shown. How the mapping is done, they have shown, okay. So this diagram is more important. Similarly, we have for the control of mapping between the physical and the control information, okay. Between the physical layer, this is out of physical layer, this is after before the physical layers, will be all your control information. So based on the mapping of control information to the physical channel, how the LTE will perform and how they may give you better quality of services, okay. So based on these two particular figures which are shown here, okay, the channel mapping we can see, and we can see here from the figure that there is a very good correlation between the channels, okay. Let it be, they fall under various different categories of the different layers, okay. So based on the mapping between the logical channels and the transport channels, this MAC service access protocol or service access point, and the mapping between the transport channel and the physical channel are made in such a way that it is not even giving you a very less quality of service. A better quality of service can be achieved than compared to your 1G, 2G, or it can be 3G, okay. And it is also possible that in LTE, the multi-channels can be used for mapping, okay. So with this topic, the concept of the hierarchical structure is explained in this particular video, okay. So with this, I conclude this today's lecture here. Thank you.